Good morning, everyone. My name is Gabriel Jimenez, and I'm a product marketing manager at Google, working across all of Southeast Asia. I want to start off by saying a big thank you to ASEC Jean Pacheco and the rest of the DTI team for partnering with us on MSME Caravan Mondays and having us here again. This is week 4, and we are ready to keep the momentum going. As a quick reminder, last week we discussed Google Workspaces, which is a suite of free tools that you can use to collaborate and communicate with your team and colleagues all online. Today, we're going to shift topics and talk about ways that you can better unlock insights from your website. So just to give you a heads up, today's content will be most helpful for people who either have a currently running website or thinking of building one in the near future. Now, if you have a website or you're thinking about creating a website, you might have some questions like, how have people found my site? What are they doing once they are on my site? And what are some of the similarities or differences of consumers once they come to my site? To answer all of that and understand those questions, we recommend using Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a free tool that helps anyone managing a website track and report website traffic. It's used by millions of businesses, both big and small, to understand customer preferences and create better experiences for them. I personally use it every day, either at working at Google, via my volunteer work with NGOs, or with helping my family members run their small businesses. Once you get the hang of it, it really unlocks a whole new world of understanding what your customers need and how to better serve them with your website. A great part it was that it was actually revamped last year, so it's only gotten smarter and more helpful. To help you understand more about Google Analytics, you will get a deep dive presentation from my colleague Alora. She will discuss things like what is Google Analytics, how can you set up a Google Analytics account, and she'll introduce you to some of the basics of navigating the interface and understanding the data. I want to stress that today is really about the basics and introduction to Google Analytics. Next week, we'll have additional content that focuses more on the advanced features and advanced analysis that you can do in Google Analytics. We know that Google Analytics and some of these topics can be a little tricky, so for today, we saved a lot of time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them for us, and we'll try to get you an answer either via writing or save them for the live Q&A portion between me and Alora. All content will be recorded and stored on DTI's Facebook page and YouTube channels. So if you miss anything, you'll be able to rewatch it when the recordings are available. With that, I'll say thank you so much, and we'll just pass it along to Alora to get started.
Hello, everyone. So for those who are joining us for the first time, this series is brought to you by the Grow with Google program in collaboration with DTI. Thank you to Assistant Secretary Jean Pacheco and the DTI team for hosting us today. So as a reminder, today's content will eventually be available on both DTI's Facebook page and DTI's YouTube channel. Today's session will be an introduction to the basics and fundamentals of Google Analytics, a free Google tool that helps anyone managing a website track and report website traffic. It's the very first thing you want to set up after building a website, and it will give you incredible insights to understand how your customers are finding your site and what they are doing once they get there. So the changes brought upon by COVID-19 have pushed many MSMEs to create websites for the first time. Google Analytics will help you get the most out of your website. And eventually, once you've set up your Google Analytics for your company site, you will be able to use the data from the site to build tailored marketing activities to promote your products or services, or to generate business insights to shape your strategies to recovery. But before anything else, let me briefly share with you some tidbit about myself. I am Elora Sam, a Senior Partnerships Lead at Google, focusing on digital advertising. I have been with Google for 4 years now, and while those 4 years were spent on helping my clients further their digital marketing maturity, I've also done quite a few side projects. Currently, I also co-lead the country startup mentorship program for Google. So today's session is all about Google Analytics, and there is a big need to learn about this tool because web analytics tools have changed the way we make decisions in the digital world. Thanks to web analytics, we don't have to guess about what our customers and users want. We can get detailed information on anything we want and optimize our digital activities to increase ROI, improve the user experience, and do a number of other things to move towards our business goals. And one of the best parts of Google Analytics is that the tool is free. In fact, Google Analytics is by far the most widely adopted analytics tool. But remember that this session is only an introduction to the basics. So there will be a more advanced session on Google Analytics next week. And there are also advanced online resources available on the official Google skill building sites. So don't worry, we're going to be covering all the resources you can refer to towards the end of the session. So at the end of the session, you should be able to 1, understand the importance of web analytics to business growth. 2, set up an analytics account and be able to define goals that are important to your businesses. And 3, discover insights about your consumers through Google Analytics reports. So with a rapid change in consumer behavior during this period of time, businesses must be helpful and be able to meet the current needs of the consumers. So measurement allows the businesses to grow by first getting the data right and getting it consistently. So by establishing a source of truth, you will be more confident that the data you see that you have is reliable, and regardless of how many data sources you might have. So that said, it also allows the business owners to measure what really matters for their businesses. Measurement also allows you to get insights on customers, their customer journey, your marketing efforts, media investments, and other critical information. And it will also allow you to turn those insights into action. With the insights you've generated, ideally, you'll be able to strategize better and optimally allocate your resources. So, in summary, measurement will help you establish a source of truth, get insights from data, and translate those insights into action. And companies across the world are using web analytics tools to inform their businesses, website, and advertising decision making. Google Analytics is one popular web analytics tool used by many business owners. While it can seem complicated at first, once you get things down and once you get the hang of it, you'll be well on your way in mastering the application and growing your business. Google Analytics can help you answer a vast range of questions you've been meaning to ask about the performance of your website, and perhaps a few you hadn't even thought about. So it can show you how visitors found your website and also allow you to understand your customer better by knowing what they did on your site after they got there. Also, it helps you measure the effectiveness of online and offline marketing efforts that you are conducting. So beyond showing you statistics that help measure your marketing effectiveness and efficiency, analytics can show you how people interact with your marketing channels. So let's use Linda's business as an example. So Linda runs a guest house and she has Google Analytics set up. So she is able to see a person's entire journey on her website. So for example, she can see when someone clicks on a link that she posted on their social media platform. She can see if that user visited the site, if that user left and then came back a week later to book a room in her guest house. Analytics does this by letting her create special links to put on social media and other places that aren't her site. So those links track when people click on them. So she can see where her site traffic is actually coming from. In another example, Linda finds out that her social media posts are driving a ton of people to her website. But she also found out that her search ads aren't getting clicked on so much. So this pushed Linda to check if she could test out new search ads and see if the numbers will improve. And after making those changes on her search ads, she then discovers that, okay, a lot of people are now visiting the reservation page, but they're leaving without completing a booking. So Linda asked herself a few questions. how come people aren't completing their booking? What can I do to improve and reduce the fallout? So this insight pushed Linda to simplify her booking process to see if that action would actually move the needle when it comes to generating sales. So now the first quiz of the day. So again, Linda runs a guest house with a website where people can book their rooms online. So how can Linda use web analytics to make better decisions? So what is the best way for Linda to use Google Analytics for her business? So Linda can A, gain a better understanding of her customers, allowing her to make changes to her web presence to improve the customer experience and ultimately increase leads, sales, or conversions. B, measure the number of followers on their social media platform. Or C, understand whether her customers enjoy their stay in her guest house. So I'll give you 30 seconds to think about your answers. Is it A, B, or C? Okay, so option A is the best option here. Option B doesn't work. Though Google Analytics can help check whether or not the site traffic is coming from a social media platform, it cannot, however, track what happens on that social media page or profile. And it's because Google Analytics is meant for your own website or your own properties. Option C wouldn't work either because Google Analytics looks at what happens on a site, not a customer's sentiment. So maybe if she really wants to find out whether or not the visitors actually enjoy their stay, maybe a feedback survey would be the best for that. So web analytics are the collection of online data used to understand and optimize web presence. So it turns the qualitative experience of visiting a website into a quantitative snapshot of everything about your users. So through a web analytics tool, Linda and her team can gain a better understanding of their customers, allowing them to make changes to their web presence to improve their website visitors' experience and ultimately increase leads, sales, or conversions. So now that you understand how Google Analytics can help, let's take a quick look into how to set up a Google Analytics account. So make sure you are using your business email address when creating a Google Analytics account. So please avoid using your personal email addresses. I have encountered a lot of businesses asking their accounts to be reinstated because they have previously used personal email addresses, and also those employees who registered no longer works for the company. So to ensure continuity, please use a designated business email address. So if you already have that, just make sure that you're logged in using your business email address. And then on your web browser, just go to google.com/analytics. To create an account, just click Start for Free. Once you've clicked that, it will redirect you to this page where you will be asked to set up your account. So put in your account name, review the account data sharing settings. We do recommend that you check all, but feel free to adjust based on your preference. So once you're okay with your settings, just click Next. Moving to the next step, you will be asked to set up your property details. So a property is a subcomponent of an analytics account that determines which data is organized and stored together. So normally under one account, you can have multiple properties. And that would allow you to independently track each one of your digital assets. So you can have one property for your website, another one for your app, and one for each of your other digital assets. So any resource tagged with the same property ID is collected and stored together. So a single property can be used to track one website or mobile app, or it can also be a roll-up of the data from multiple sites and multiple mobile apps. So you may edit and change the details on this property at a later date. So input your property name, the correct reporting time zone. So since we're in the Philippines, you can choose Philippines as the country. and choose GMT +8 for your time zone. You may also choose PHP as the currency. Again, you may edit all of these things later. And after that, once you're okay with all the settings, you can go ahead and click next. Next step is to input your business details so that the platform can best tailor fit the experience depending on your business's industries, business size, and also your goals. So there will be a pop-up for the Google Analytics Terms of Service Agreement. You can choose the Philippines as the country. Please take time to read through the data processing terms and really understand the type of data that Google will need to collect in order to provide you with high-quality information. So once you've read through this and you're okay with the terms, check the box and then click Accept. So how does the data collection work? So to track a website, you first have to create a Google Analytics account, right? So we have covered the steps to do just that. Then you need to add a small piece of JavaScript tracking code to each page on your site. So every time a user visits a web page, the tracking code will collect anonymous information about how that user interacted with that page. And when the tracking code collects the data, it packages that information up and sends it to Google Analytics to be processed into reports. So as mentioned, the tracking code, or what we also call as a tag, it's a piece of JavaScript that you'll need to copy and paste into the code of your own web pages. So for this section, I'll teach you how to get that code and how to add it to your website. So first, what you need to do is to click on the admin panel on the top, and then go to Setup Assistant, and then click Tag Installation. After clicking Tag Installation, it will then show you or ask you what platform you want to use for this property. So you can choose iOS app, Android app, or website. So you can set up all of these later if you have all three properties. But for now, just choose one property. So as an example, we will go ahead and set up a data stream for the web. So upon clicking the web, you will be directed to this page where you have to input your website details. So input your website URL and your website name. I also suggest to keep the enhanced measurement enabled to allow you to automatically measure interactions and content on the site on top of just like a standard view measurement. Meaning, aside from just page views, you'll be able to see metrics like scrolls or scroll depth, site search, outbound clicks, even file downloads if it's applicable to your site. So you can adjust all of these parameters later on also. So once you've inputted all the details, just click Create Stream. So this next part is where you'll see the instructions on how to add the tag on your website. There are two ways to go about this. The first option is to use a global site tag, and the second option is to use the Google Tag Manager. So which method to use or which method you want to use will depend on a few things. So if you have a website builder or a CMS hosted site, you can opt to use a global site tag. If you use multiple analytics or ad performance tools that require site tags, or if you also want to collaborate and have additional control features to help you manage all of those tags, then you can use Google Tag Manager. Whichever you decide, there will be clear instructions on this page on how to install them. So we've now created an account and we have created the property and the data stream for that property. The next thing we'll do is to create a reporting view. So a view or a reporting view is a subset of an analytics account property that can have its own unique configuration setting. So you can see the hierarchy on the slide. So you can create multiple views for a single property and configure each view to show a different subset of data for the property. So a reporting view is the level in an analytics account where you can access reports and analysis tools, right? So you can use filters to customize views and see only a subset of data in your reports. So for example, you want to have a filter or a view wherein you take out all the internal traffic. So when we talk about internal traffic, that's traffic coming from your own employees visiting your website. So if that's not valuable to you, when you want to take a look at your analytics, you can have a specific view that filters that out. So that said, there are multiple ways to filter out things depending on how you configure each reporting view. So if you send web and app data to the same property, you might want to also use filters to exclude web or app data for specific views. So now we'll move on how to set up a reporting view. So this option will only show up once the tags have been installed. So the reporting view will allow you to create filtered perspectives of your data. So for example, all pages in your website or a specific page within your site. So how to do it is that just go to your admin page. Under the view column, just click plus create view. So insert a name. You can be very specific and very descriptive in the name so that it's easier for you to understand what view that is when you see it in a list, right? So be very specific and descriptive. Select now the reporting time zone. So again, it really depends on you if you want to use the Philippines or a different country. And finally, once you're okay with this, just click create view. So now we've created the account, we've created the property, we've created the reporting view. I'm now going to show you all the different reports that you can get out of your Google Analytics account. So on the home page, on the left-hand side, you will see a navigation bar, and that will allow you to access the 5 main reports that Google Analytics has to offer. So real-time, audience, acquisition, behavior, and conversion. So later in the session, we'll be going over each category in detail. We'll learn about all the different types of insights that you can access through the standard reports. You can also create dashboards, shortcuts, or even custom reports using the customization tab. The admin section also contains all of your Google Analytics settings. So allowing you to change settings on your account, property, or views. It also allows you to change your user permissions. So if you want to give access to your team members who are in charge of monitoring your website performance, then you may be able to do that through the admin section. So just a quick tip, you may click this pointer, the arrow there, to hide the navigation panel to give you more space to see your reports. So at any point that you may require help, just click on the help menu button on the top right. And I would also like to encourage you to really maximize the site search functionality of Google Analytics. It's amazing. So for example, you're quite unsure where to navigate to see certain reports. You may try searching for the report description on the site search. So for example, you want to see which pages are the slowest in terms of loading so that you can share it back to your website developer. You can try searching for the keyword worst pages by load speed, and it will automatically link you to the report where you can see just that. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell so that you will receive important notifications regarding your account. So, going back to Linda and her guest house business, let's pause for a bit and think. What do you think are the data points that Linda would be most interested in? So remember that Linda's business is a guest house, and her key business goal is to get people to book rooms at her place. Do you think Linda would be most interested in A, how long people spend on their how to find us page? B, which day of the week is most popular for bookings? C, whether their funny tweet went viral? And D, how many people visiting their site actually books a room with them? So I'll give you 30 seconds to think. Okay, so the right answer here is D. How many people visiting their site actually ends up booking a room with them. So, what are your business goals? So, Google Analytics as a tool can give you a mountain of data straight out of the box. And that's a really great opportunity for a lot of businesses. But in order to really make use of all the data, it's important to make sure you're measuring progress towards your own particular goals. That means you'll want to customize your analytics a bit to really make it tailor fit to your business. So it'll allow you to make sure you're tracking things that really matter to you. So a way to do this is to actually ask yourself, what was the reason you created the website in the first place? Because anything you hope to achieve with your website can be tracked and measured with web analytics as a goal you hope to achieve. So once you've identified the business goals that matter to you, it's now time to translate those to website goals. So set up website goals to identify the actions you want users to take on your site. So a goal represents a completed activity called a conversion. And conversions normally should contribute to the success of your business. So for example, you can set up goals by singling out the actions you want people on your site to take. So it could be buying a product, filing for a lead form, or reading an article. So then you'll be able to see reports that will tell you if you're actually meeting all of those goals. So defining goals is a fundamental component of any digital analytics measurement plan. Having properly configured goals allow analytics to provide you with critical information, such as the number of conversions and the conversion rate for your site or for your app. So without this information, it's almost impossible to evaluate the effectiveness of your online business and marketing campaigns. So let's go back to Linda and her guest house business. Let's say that the reason that she created a website for the guest house is so that people could reserve a room online. So a completed reservation is definitely a goal that she'll want to track on her analytics tool. So that's one goal down, but what other goals might she have for her guest house? So what else can people do that will bring value to her business? So maybe she wants to know, she wants people to know where to find her or her guest house. So how would you set that up on the analytics tool so that it could measure just that? So maybe visiting a page on the site that contains the map and the directions could be something that she could consider creating as a goal and configuring that action as a conversion. Or maybe she wants people to sign up for the email newsletter so that she can send them special promos and discounts and keep them up to date with any improvements that are happening at their guest house. So if they sign up, they're signaling that they're very interested in the guest house, and that will give her an opportunity to reach out to them. So it's very valuable, right? So that said, that action of completing the sign-up form could be another goal that she could track. So goals are configured at the view level. So goals can be applied to specific pages your users visit. So how many pages they view in a session, how long they stay on your site or on your app. So what are the events they trigger while they are there? So every goal can also have a monetary value. And that will allow you to see how much that conversion is actually worth to your business. So using values for goals will let you focus on the highest value conversions. And when a visitor to your website performs an action defined as a goal, analytics records that as a conversion. And that conversion data is then made available in a number of special purpose reports. So when setting up goals and analytics, you can choose to use an existing template available, or you can create your own. Just remember to please save your goals because that will allow the platform to actually start recording the data. Another important note is that each view can only create a maximum of 20 goals. So there are all kinds of goals you can find that can be tracked as conversions inside Web Analytics. So once you've figured out out your goals, you'll need to configure them on the tool. And while the processes for doing that can actually vary, it's usually pretty painless. So once it's done, looking at the reports in your web analytic tools will actually become much more productive. Okay, so time to test whether you're all paying attention. So Linda recently revamped her newsletter and has made the site responsive to appeal to users on mobile devices. Again, on mobile devices. So which elements of the analytics tool should Linda focus on to measure the effectiveness of her changes? Is it A, the number of site pages users explore on average? Is it B, the amount of time visitors spend on the site? C, the number of people clicking on the links on her newsletters? Or D, percentage of bookings made on smartphones and tablets? So I'm going to give you a hint. There are 2 correct answers, and I'll give you again 30 seconds to think about which answer is the best. So again, 2 correct answers. So remember, the changes she made and applied were for mobile devices specifically. I gave you 3 hints. Okay, so the correct answers are C and D. So the number of people clicking on the links in her newsletters, and also the percentage of bookings made on smartphones and tablets. So when it comes to analytics, it's important to focus on the information that has the most impact on your business. So in this case, Linda should focus less on the number of visits to the site or the amount of time people spend on it. It's also not hugely important how many pages people look at on average. Instead, she should be monitoring specific goals like the percentage of orders that comes from customers on their smartphones or the number of people who click on the content on her newsletters. The information is much more valuable because it gives feedback on the new elements that she's recently introduced to her business. Up to what we have discussed, web analytics help you understand visitor behavior on your website and measure how effective your site and digital marketing campaigns are. Google Analytics is a no-charge tool that shows you data about your website and marketing channels. Setting goals in analytics can give you insights into visitors' experiences on your website. So you can generate data on which pages get the most traffic, whether users take specific actions, or how long people view each page. And Google Analytics show you the sources of your web traffic, what people click on, which pages they go to, and when they leave your site. You can use analytics to create custom URLs for your marketing campaigns and then track how many people click on them. I also encourage you to visit and consider using the Solutions Gallery to import custom reporting tools and assets like dashboards and segments into your analytics account. So when you import an asset from Solutions Gallery, only the template is going to be imported into your account. So for example, if you import a custom report, you can use that report to analyze the data in your analytics account, not the data from the person who created that report. So they're basically just templates. So what you can do is you can visit analytics.google.com/analytics/gallery to import custom reports that other users have created. If you also want to sharpen your analytics knowledge, check out Primer. Google Primer is an educational app that's available on your Play Store or App Store. So this has a series of short and fun lessons that are all less than 5 minutes each. So it's perfect for that quick break and you just want to upskill and learn more. So all the content is very digestible. So I really strongly recommend that you check this out. So you can also improve your analytics skills with free online courses from Google. We have a hub called Google Skill Shop with all our official trainings. One popular course is actually the Analytics Academy. So Analytics Academy helps you learn about Google's measurement tools so that you can grow your business through intelligent data collection and analysis. So we are at the end of my presentation, introducing you to the basics of Google Analytics. I hope you find today's session useful. If you want to dive deeper, there will be a session next week on advanced Google Analytics. We know it's a lot of content, so feel free to drop questions in the Q&A section. So thank you all for joining me today. Have a great week ahead.